In October of 2025, I accepted my full-time offer to be a software engineer at Amazon. Okay guys, I am going to be doing something really exciting. Why am I so nervous? Bro, my login's like not working. Okay, I'm going to be accepting my offer. Lucky, that was really anticlimactic. I just accepted my full-time offer to Amazon. Shocking. I know I've interned there like many times in the past, and so it shouldn't be anything different, but I'm still super excited and nervous just because it is like my first real big girl job now, and that's basically my future. I don't know how long I'll be working here. We don't know. But as of right now, I'll be a full-time Amazon software engineer. And now it's been almost a year, so let's talk about my experience, my journey, and everything in between. I feel like I've gone through so many different journeys and experiences, even though it's been less than a year. Honestly, I had so many different expectations and I had so many doubts and worries, to the point where before my start date, I was searching up everything that I thought I needed to prepare for. I was reviewing leak code because I was just so nervous. I really did not know what to expect. I mean, I did intern at Amazon for 3 summers before starting my full-time job, but I was still so nervous. I will say during the first 6 months, I just felt like everything was being thrown at me, but really there was nothing that I could have prepared for. You kind of learn on the spot. There will be weeks where I just felt really good about where I was at. I was confident with my learning trajectory. I was able to join in different discussions. I was able to complete tasks without asking my team members, but then there would be weeks where all of that was not true. Like I couldn't participate in meetings. I kept asking my teammates for help on everything, and so my head was all over the place. Yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster of emotions, but I realized that that's just part of the job, and once you learn how to handle that, you're able to approach work with a different mindset. And especially because I graduated in December of 2024, I had 8 full months of not using my brain and not working at all, so there was just a lot that was going through my head. But yeah, let's start all the way from the beginning. So in the beginning, there was a huge learning curve for me. There were so many tools, so many different systems that I needed to learn, so many different services that my team owned, and trying to navigate through all of that was really difficult. And I was reading all of these documents trying to learn as much as possible, but once I actually started diving into different tasks and trying to actually work with the different tools, I felt like I was starting again at ground zero. But I will say that the minute that I start actually working on the task is the minute that I actually start learning the tools and services and everything. And so for me personally, as a software engineer, I feel like if I want to learn, I just got to pick up different tasks from different areas, and while working on that task, try to dive deep as much as possible and try to gain the most out of every task that I work on. Another thing that I learned is that the work that you do matters. What I mean by that is initially I really liked picking up UI related tasks. Front end, that's what really got me into coding in the first place. But I'm starting to realize that a lot of the UI work is not really something that's prioritized within leadership. I mean, it really depends on what feature you're shipping out. Maybe UI is a priority, but oftentimes I found out that what I want to work on is not necessarily a priority in leadership. Especially nowadays, I think the work that is prioritized within the company is something that you want to learn for yourself. And so what I wish I did differently in the beginning of my experience is, rather than trying to pick tasks that interested me, instead try to find tasks that would help with my growth a lot more. Not saying that the tasks that I picked up that were related to my growth were not of my interest. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying sometimes the tasks that seem easier, more fun, maybe isn't the best for you to work on, especially when you're starting in your career. I don't know if that made sense, but yeah, I guess it is very specific to my case because I'm talking about like front end UI work. That's just something that I learned. Also, something that comes with being a software engineer is being on call, and oh my goodness, I could talk for hours about being on call, but I was so nervous to be on call. I felt like you really needed to learn the service inside and out prior to being on call, and I was just so scared to receive a sub 2 and honestly hear that alarm go off. It like pisses me off, but there's really nothing that can prepare you for it. You can shadow your team members as much as you want, but again, the actual learning is when you actually deal with the tickets and the sub 2s yourself. And as much as I hate being on call, I truly feel like I learn the most when I'm on call. You know, you're dealing with client inquiries. That's really when you're learning the service inside and out. I don't know why, but I was always so scared to ask for help. But when you're on call, every second matters, and trying to mitigate that issue is first and learning is second. So something that I wish I told myself when I first started out was to not be afraid to ask for help, especially during your first few rotations of being on call. The next thing that I kind of learned while being a software engineer is that being a software engineer nowadays does not mean you write code. I think writing code is like 5% of the job. The rest of the 95% is really finding root causes to different issues, system design, having a bunch of meetings, and finding ways to improve current systems. Because AI is so advanced nowadays, you really do not code like ever. I really do feel like most of the job is having so many meetings discussing about which types of features we want to enhance, want to tackle, how we're going to tackle them, and the rest is for AI to do. Now, I will say during the beginning months, I kind of just let AI run everything. Like, I didn't really doubt the code that AI wrote. I gave it barely any context. Now that I'm kind of getting an understanding of how different things work, I'm starting to realize you can't give your 100% trust to AI, which sounds so obvious, but I swear when you're telling AI to write some code, you automatically feel like what it's written is probably smarter than what you could have ever wrote. But that's not true at all. And something that I've been doing is having other AI agents, like 2 or 3, review the code that my initial AI wrote and keep reiterating off of that. So recently, after I let AI make the changes, I go through line by line, really understanding for myself what AI has written. If I can't understand what AI has written, my team members probably would not understand as well. I really did learn that AI should be there to help you with your workload, to make things faster and easier, but it shouldn't do 100% of the job, because as of right now, it's not able to. So yeah, it's crazy that when you're doing these interviews for software engineer roles, you're doing leak code, you're learning about runtime and all of that, but it's unfortunate that that's only 5% of the actual job. I mean, I will say, like, I guess the thinking process is kind of similar, but I think right now the job scope has changed so drastically over the years. Now, I did want to address something. It's been almost a year and I'm leaving my current team at Amazon. I'm leaving Seattle and I'm moving back to California in the Bay Area. I'm currently in the Bay right now. I've been working in my new team. I was not expecting to be back in California so quick. I was thinking I would at least be in Seattle for 2 to 3 years, but not even a year and I'm already back. I kept going back and forth between whether I should or not, but in the end, I felt like this was an opportunity that I could not pass up on. I feel like the new team that I'm on right now has been really good so far. The work is actually very different, but I will say I thought that everything that I had learned during the first 10 months at my old team would all be gone to waste, but that is not true at all. Like, a lot of the processes are the same. So even though the two teams own completely different services and handle completely different things, me as a software engineer, the way I think and work stays the same. And obviously there is that learning curve again to learn my current team's systems, but besides that, very much is still the same. So yeah, I feel like I had such a crazy chapter in Seattle, but now I'm entering this new chapter, living alone in the Bay, in a new team, and I'm so grateful that you guys are all here to experience my journey, and I'll definitely be documenting my experience here in California on this new team and just film what it's like living alone. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found it somewhat helpful, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!